Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rescued Ray podcast. It's episode 1. I'm so happy that you're here. You're going to have to forgive me because I'm currently in the middle of eating a spinach feta wrap. You know what? I'm hungry. Okay? I had one. Had to have it. And here we are. Forgive me. Anyway, this is episode 1. We're happy. I'm happy that you're here. Forgive me if that was a little unprofessional, but I'm just like I said, I just want to keep it real with you guys. Today I will be discussing how I got here. Why am I making a podcast right now? What it took for me emotionally to get here. And boy, has it been a journey. A long one. It actually started when I was 14 years old. At least that's the way I like to look at it. Because that was around when I was like 13, 14 was around the time that YouTube was becoming part of my life. So I just was used to seeing people document their lives. And I've learned a lot from just people and their experiences. And so here I am, doing the same thing in podcast form. I've done all of the others as well. I mean, really, there wasn't many other ways to share your life other than YouTube. So I've taken a stab at that. Like I said, when I was 14, I remember, I don't know if it was my mom's camera. Somebody had a camera. I want to say it might have been my sister's. I'm not really sure, but I had one of those Canon small little cameras that recorded videos, and actually I think it was my dad's now that I think about it. So I would take that and prop it up on the windowsill in my living room, my parents' living room, and I would just start recording a video just discussing something. Sometimes I do like product reviews, and yeah, so I used to pretend. I don't know if I was actually serious, but to be real, like I used to give it my all. Like I used to start recording the video, and then I remember when I was like, okay, like I want to post it. Like I have a YouTube channel. I could just post this right now. And I was 14 years old, and then I remember looking at the video like 10 times, like before posting it or uploading it. And I'd be like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Like, just stop. And I just think back and I'm like, dang, imagine if I would have just done it. Like if I would have just done it and been, just a little bit more bold and fearless, who knows what could have come of it. At the same time, I'm so grateful because 14-year-old Raina is not 27-year-old Raina. So a lot has changed, including becoming a Christian. So yeah, that's actually a huge part of my life. So I can only imagine what I would be posting at 21 versus 28/27. But now that I think about it, like it would still be a testimonial journey. So either way, God gets the glory. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's just get right into it. Thank you again for joining me. This has been such a fun process, leading up to this point. But it hasn't always been easy. Like I said, I would just record a video back in the day, wanting to post some content online and would get afraid. Even in my adult years, I would have, those like urges to just like record something, post it, just share, present online. I really felt just so intrigued by that, and I would do it sometimes. But even just publishing a video, when I was publishing publicly, it would honestly still freak me out. It would really freak me out, and I wasn't always great at it in terms of administratively, scheduling, filming, and recording. To some of you, this might sound like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And just kind of trying to just be with me. Bear with me for a moment. Let me just say that this might sound familiar to a lot of people, but I would say the overarching reason as to why it's taken me so long to get here to this point is fear. And I think a lot of people can relate to that no matter what you're doing, right? No matter what passion you are whatever, no matter what you're passionate about is what I'm trying to say. So for me, it has been just content creation, being in front of the camera, being behind the camera, the creative process, post-production. So, but it was obviously just so scary because you're putting yourself out there in public, and I would always just freak out whether I did it or not. And the reason why because I had been wanting to come back to, creating some stuff to post, but the fear this time has been a little bit different. The fear now has more so been about, revolving around my faith. I am a Christian, and it's not part of my life. It is my life. So it would be silly for me personally to have a podcast and it not be, I wouldn't discuss the Lord meaning Jesus Christ. It would be funny to me because it is my life. And lately, I would say in the past I'll say 2 years, excuse me. The past 2 years, I've just been super passionate about various topics regarding the Christian community. Some that could come as a shock to some of you. I know for me, there, some things that were hurtful or just new information. And I've been just so intrigued by apologetics, for example, and just different or progressive Christianity, things like that. I'm not saying I'm intrigued and love it. I'm just saying that I've been just delving into that realm, and some things have been, like I said, hurtful and have been burdening me, and I'm like itching to share all of this information that I've been gathering and learning, and I'm excited to get to do that here, and I'm excited to show you what I've learned and, continue to learn with you. So I feel like I'm on a huge tangent right now, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is because there is a lot of controversy around Christianity, and I understand that, So with that being said, I was afraid that if I was to come on here and proclaim my faith in God, in Jesus Christ, I would get canceled, right? I would get canceled. People would just, call me out or just talk crap or whatever, I was nervous about that. And the more and more I would, do my research and just do, read the Bible and all of that, the more I was just more passionate about getting this out there, this information out there to believers and non-believers, because there's a lot going on that I would love to just talk about. And so I was just always, at least recently, been like, oh my gosh, like I really want to get out there and talk about this, but I feel like people aren't going to like it. I feel like people are going to take this to heart and just hate me and whatever. So that stopped me for the longest time. And all of those like insecurities and all of that fear trickling in, including you're not qualified, you didn't go to Bible school, you didn't do any of that. And I'm not saying that you need to be knowledgeable of the Bible. I'm just saying that those little voices in my head were just kind of going off, like, hey, like no one's going to listen to you because you really don't know what you're talking about. Like you did not go to Bible college, you didn't do any of that stuff. So like you're not a pastor, you're not out here on stage or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So like little things like that. And I'm like, who am I? Who am I to be whatever? So I would just like let that kind of sit. I would never stop there. I would always feel like, okay, Lord, well, like if like I hear these thoughts in my head, but I also have this itch of creating that I need to scratch. And I'm afraid to scratch it because I know that if I scratch it, it's going to have a lot to do with you. And if I talk about you, like people will not like me. And to be real, I don't care if you don't like me because of Jesus. And I'm not trying to sound crazy right now, but I'm just saying. It's when you just put yourself out there online and like literally anyone can watch your stuff, listen to you. Like that kind of is a little scary. So I'm just like, Lord, like, what do you want me to do? Like, what do I even talk about? So anyway, that was just like weighing heavy on me, my heart. And it's just something I've been wrestling with, praying, talking with my husband, Corey, about it. It's just been a long journey. And something that I've realized is just like how, like another thought I've been having is how much the enemy being the devil, right? So I don't know if that's going to be censored out or not, but the enemy, I think, gets kind of excited at the fact that I'm afraid of being canceled or being judged, negatively or whatever. I think he's happy, or was happy that I was pretty much had a muzzle on my mouth, because of all the fears and just like the questioning of myself and what I'm able to do, my capabilities in creating some podcast, I think he was happy that I was like taking so long to get to this point. But what's awesome is that I've never stopped talking to God about it. And God has just really been like healing me from those thoughts. And the more that I read the Bible, the more that I am learning from different leaders and speakers, apologists about God, the more I'm just so like passionate and excited to discuss things like this. So the enemy will not win. You know what I mean? So my encouragement to you in this moment, the second, is just to, I say embrace the obstacle. What I mean by that is just to acknowledge it, and don't stop praying. Don't stop talking to God about it and asking for his will in every situation that you're in. And I really do feel like he's provided, not a microphone. I mean, yes, he has. He's provided us the finances, but what he's really given me is just a peace of mind and such encouragement and confidence, So, woo, your girl getting a little emotional. Must be the spinach photo. I'm just kidding. So, when I think about that, oh my gosh, like I am coming on here, when I talk about the Lord, and I love to talk about you, Jesus. I want people to know you. I want Christians to even have some conversations, ongoing conversations in their downtime while they're driving to work, about Jesus. I just want there to be more Christian creatives out there, really. So, yeah, if you think about that, I'm like, wow, okay. Like, I think about this verse in John 15, and it is John 15:18. It says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. And then in 19, it says, if you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. But you do not belong in the world. I have chosen you out of the world. So just the fact that Jesus is even saying like, hey, keep in mind that it hated me first, and then I think there's a verse in Luke 10:16, which says, let me look at a version, NIV, just because people are familiar with NIV and it's easy to understand. So in the NIV, Luke 10:16, it says, whoever listens to you listens to me. And it says, whoever has nothing to do with you has nothing to do with me. Whoever has nothing to do with me. Wait, whoa, you guys, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to forgive me. I literally just jumped translations. So sorry. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. You guys, why didn't you tell me? Okay, so the NIV version, wow. Luke 10:16. Whoever listens to you listens to me. Whoever rejects you rejects me. But whoever rejects me rejects him who sent me. I don't know what version I was reading. I don't know anything about that. The other version I was reading, but it definitely sounded interesting. But anyway, so the NIV says, whoever listens to you listens to me. Whoever rejects you rejects me. But whoever rejects me rejects him who sent me. So that's something that has been encouraging me as I embark on this journey of creating content online. Is I am praying that God lead me, and I'm praying that he just continue to guide me, and I want his will to be done in my life and for this podcast. And I want to just have those conversations with believers and, non-believers really about him, and just having a great time here and just giving glory to God. I really want that. And if there's anyone that has an issue with it, I need to, and I love this, but it's just such a picture of not having to carry the burden of people's pain, people's judgments. I could just say, God, like, I'm going to give this to you. You've called me to this position. And, to be real, they're not really rejecting Raina, because the message that I don't have a message, y'all. Like, the message I want to get across is the message of Jesus Christ. So if they're rejecting anything that comes out of my mouth, they're rejecting Jesus. And that's something that they have to live with. That's something that I'm saying as a Christian. That's something that they will have to live with. And it is what it is, I just know also that my intentions are good. My intentions for this podcast is to bring light in a dark place. And that goes for the believers and the non-believers. There's a lot of believers out there who are participating in activities that I don't believe are biblical. And I would love to discuss things like that. Very much so. So yeah, I'm so grateful for Jesus, and like everything that you need comfort in is found in the Bible. And that right there just spoke to me so heavily. Just the fact that he's talking to his disciples saying, hey, if they hate you, they hated me first. Like, get over yourself. You know what I mean? Like, what do you have to say? And I'm like, you know what, God, you're right. You're right, God. Okay. So anyway, so that was a big hindrance as to why I, took so long to get to this place, but I'm so thankful for the journey. God has taught me so much along the way. And he's just giving me this desire that I just can't shake. And I'm just ready to do whatever he wants me to do. He's given me this passion and this gift, and I would just love to, use them for him. And I want him to just do whatever he'd like. But yeah, there has been countless tears. By the way, I'm looking at my laptop right now because I wrote like an outline of what I'm talking about right now, but I'm trying to stay on track, but I'm also just like going off the cuff, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of moments I would wake up feeling like, honestly, it was never first thought, but I just kind of say it just for the sake of storytelling. But, you wake up and you're like, okay, gonna go to work, gonna go, do the normal thing. And then you kind of come home and you're like, I didn't really do a lot for me and what fulfills me, So like I said, I had this itch I couldn't just shake off and scratch. And for that, it was creating some content. And I would always feel like, okay, well, maybe that's not for me right now. Like, maybe that's not what I'm going to do. Maybe there's something else out there for me. And I just would also be like, dude, no, like, if this is something you want to do it, God. Like, and I would also say to myself, like, well, because I'm not, qualified on paper, like, why would anyone want to listen to me? Like, I have nothing to give right now. Gosh, honestly, guys, those are some like terrible thoughts. Like, the enemy would love to have you think that about yourself, but the Lord is so good, and he wakes us up every day with breath in our lungs. Like we reach just new mercies every single day. God gives us an opportunity to choose him and to walk with him every single day. And I chose to finally, you know what, God, I'm waking up and I'm just going to start moving, God. Like, I trust you. This isn't about me. This is all about you. Let me just do this thing that I feel so great doing, and I'm just going to dedicate it to you. This goes back to you. And he gave us, like I said, he gave us breath in our lungs. And to think that there isn't anything more for our lives is crazy. Like, you have a purpose and a plan here. Like, I have a purpose and a plan, and that's something that we have to just remind ourselves. And I know that sounds so like cute, cookie cutter, but like for real, like we forget. And I totally understand that. But if you're in that place right now, just know that there is a plan and a purpose for you. So I just want to leave you guys with this podcast to think about some of the things that you're passionate about. whether or not you're operating in that passion right now, or maybe you dropped it a while ago, and you're hesitant to pick it back up again, and you're feeling like maybe your time's up, or that you missed the boat, whatever you want to call it. You did not miss the boat. Hey, maybe the passion's going to look a little different, but there's still an opportunity for you every single day to do like something small just to reach that, and just continue to keep God at the center of your heart and of your mind, and in your prayer time, just asking God for his will and for you to just feel him strengthening you, and ask for that strength and for the wisdom, as it says in James. If you need that wisdom to get going, ask him. And so I just really hope that this encourages you, that you are here for a reason, for a purpose. God called you to live in today's day and age. So there is something that you can give. Your voice is so important today. You're here for a reason. So I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I know, you know what I actually forgot to get into? I forgot to tell you guys the reason why this is called Rescued Ray. So this podcast is called Rescued Ray because, the Lord rescued me. Shocker, right? Like, God rescued me from myself. What does that mean? Well, humans are imperfect. We're born sinful. And I've gotten myself into a lot of trouble when I was not living a God-honoring life, meaning I was not considering him, not putting him first. I've just gotten myself into a lot of trouble. I was always a good person. I've always been a good person, but I was still trapped in sin, and I did see what that looked like in my life too, all while being a good person. I was really nice. I still am, I think so. But at the end of the day, I was still living in sin. And I woke up one day. Actually, I didn't wake up one day. I was on my way to sleep one day, and I said, God, I have all this crap in my life right now, and I'm sad, and I can't deal with it, and I need you to just come save me, because I cannot deal with it on my own. And I can get into that another time. Woo, I get so emotional. But I just gave all of my burdens to him right before sleep, crying my eyes out like, God, I'm not strong enough to deal with all this crap that's in front of me, and I need you to rescue me. The Lord rescued me 2017, and here I am, obviously still not perfect, but God is still so good, and that's pretty much how I got rescued, Ray. Anyways, please let me know what you guys think. Give me any feedback that you may have, any suggestions that you have. Follow me on Instagram at Rescued Ray Podcast. And thank you guys so much for being here. I'd love to hear from you. Stay blessed, everybody. Bye.